What's up, guys? You are live in the garage or tuning in later, most likely. But I want to talk to you about something tonight. I'm going to do a kind of impromptu movie review, I think is the best way to put it. But I want to talk about something I just saw. Just went to a movie. Shout out to my friend Lindsay Dunn of the North Carolina Film Critics Association. She's a good buddy of mine, and she invited me to go see a advanced screening of a film tonight. And it was a movie. And things happened in it. And I'm just going to tell you what we're going to be talking about tonight. It's not going to be a long stream. This is just going to be my review of Megan. Look at that. Looky there. This is going to be spoiler free, by the way. I know this hasn't come out wide yet. I had the opportunity to see it at an early screening, so I will not give away plot points that I feel like will be best seen as a surprise by the viewer. But this doll right here that you're seeing on the screen, Megan, is a bit of a handful. And I absolutely, you know what? I tell you what I'll do. Let me take this off. Here's what I'm going to say. So this is going to be my review, spoiler free. But here's what this is going to be a summary of the review right here. Here you go. Bam. Megan was a wild ride, guys. Go see it. This movie is bonkers in the best way. It's got those cheesy kind of schlocky effects that you've seen in the trailer. You know, the dancing, we all saw that. We all made fun of it really when it came out a couple months ago. But I got to tell you, this movie leans into it. It leans into the cheese. It leans into just like it's wild. It's crazy. Again, I'm being careful because I don't want to give anything away, but the plot is ridiculous. It is not a Oscar movie. It's not an awards movie. It's not trying to win any awards. It's trying to entertain you. It's trying to get you to have fun at the movies. And I don't think anybody can go in seeing this, especially if they're a horror fan or if they like this type of thing, and not have fun. This was an absolute blast. You know, we have to fill out these little sheets at the end of the screening of what we thought of it. And mine said it was a demented blast. It's sick. It's crazy. It's really funny. There's a lot of great comedy in this film that really surprised me. Like there's some musical numbers that happen in the movie. I don't want to give away any songs because I think it's cool if you hear it not knowing. So we'll get to some comments. I see some users popping up some funny comments. Let's get me sidetracked. We'll get to those here in a second. I see Yaney. If you're on Facebook, make sure you give permissions to StreamYard so I can see who you are, but we'll get to some of the comments there. This movie was the best thing for a horror fan if you're okay with the PG-13 horror. So it was initially an R rating. They kind of dumbed it down a little bit to have a little bit more of a mass appeal. You know, preteens, teenagers can go see it, and it's okay. And I would say that is okay. You know, 11, 12, 13 years old, it's fine to see this movie because of how they kind of took some of that stuff off screen. There's some cool kills in the movie, but they're mainly off screen. You don't see, I mean, there's blood and gore and stuff, but it's not like R-rated blood and gore. So if you're okay with that, if you go in with kind of that Happy Death Day kind of mentality where it's going to be, you know, a little more juvenile than your straight up horror, you're going to have fun with it. This character is freaking, I predict in about 10, 15 years, Megan is going to be a cult classic. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. It's got the foundations of being a cult classic because of how wild and crazy it is. It's not trying to do anything extraordinary. It's just trying to entertain you, and it really does. Let's get to some of these comments over here. You guys are awesome. Hello, Amber. Hello. I don't know if you've ever seen one of my streams. Hello. I miss you. Christopher Yaney has a square for some reason. I think that was probably an emoji. It's a January film. It is Yaney. And that worried me actually. And, you know, seeing the trailer a couple months ago when it came out, you know, you laugh at it, you kind of poke fun at it. And I think they know that, you know, Blumhouse knows that. And they lean into that really hard. And that's what makes this such a good experience because they know what they are. They know it's stupid. They know it's silly. They know the audience is going to laugh at certain moments when tension is being built up, and when you see the doll, and you've seen some of the stuff in the trailer, when you see her sitting on a bench with a bunch of teddy bears, I mean, it's just funny. And her kind of evil, bitchy looks that she gives throughout the movie that we've also seen a lot of in the trailer. The marketing for this film, by the way, was freaking stellar. Like, I mean, I don't know what you guys think. Throw up a comment there if you thought. Did you think? Am I the only one that thinks the marketing for this film, Megan, was like beyond anything I've seen in recent memory, at least since the pandemic? Like, it was so good. They had Megan lookalikes dancing at NFL halftime shows. They have billboards, posters everywhere. They had the thing at the award show to the Taylor Swift song. They were all performing out in front on the red carpet. When I signed up, I'll tell you guys a cool story. And this is how you know the marketing of this movie is fucking great. So, Drew, leave it to Drew. Leave it to Drew. Show up and just be like, Gerald, let's bring it back down here. You're right, though. And that was a great marketing campaign as well. And I think horror's just kind of latched onto that. But let me put it to you this way, and why I think the marketing, much like Smile as well, was so great for Megan. When I followed the movie on Twitter, Megan has an official Twitter account. The AI, Megan, DM'd me, thank you for following me. Can I be your new best friend? And you would respond to her in a DM and she would respond back to you. And of course, it is an AI that's running it, which is kind of the beautiful thing of the whole situation, because that's what happens in the movie as well. Just genius marketing. I think that everybody's going to be surprised by this movie. That's what I think. I mean, look at this, guys. Look at this. I mean, that's creepy, right? But it's like kind of cute. It's creepy. I mean, dolls are creepy anyway. Does it borrow from Chucky and Child's Play? Yes. Does it borrow from Annabelle? Yes. But it's its own thing. I'm confident in saying that, because it does bring in like the social media components and what kids are dealing with screen time today, and everything's on screens, and it brings all that into the picture as well, which of course you didn't have in the 80s and 90s, not as much. Yanni agrees that the Smile marketing was good. I think the marketing, I think the difference with and I could be wrong, but in my opinion, the marketing for Smile, I feel like, was more like going out to the people, whereas the marketing for Megan was more like contained online. Like, I was really impressed, like I said, about the Twitter campaign and stuff. What's up, Cirillo? I hadn't seen you in forever, brother. Que pasa, my man. I don't know who this is. So, guys, if you're on Facebook, by the way, thank you. It's too much, though. I think I need to do something about that. But thank you. But if you're on Facebook, make sure you give StreamYard permissions. There's a link in the description of the event. Just give StreamYard permissions to use your name so I can know who's commenting if you're over in the Facebook group. But thank you so much. I mean, all I'm doing is not shaving. So I don't know. Yanni, what does this mean? I'm not allowed to get one. Oh, the Megan doll? No, I would. After seeing this movie, I don't want one. I'm good. I don't want one. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to share my screen here in a second. I got to pull it up on another tab so I can show you this. Now, I tried to avoid a lot of this today because I knew I was seeing the movie tonight. I'm going to show you guys something. Let me, probably going to end up playing. So let me, I'll be right there. I'm sorry. So here's what I want to show you. Let me share my screen. I got to figure out how to do that. I need Brad in here to help me with this. So share my screen. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show you guys something. Now, can you guys see that? Look at this right here. Look at this. All the movies that are out right now, I mean, a lot of them are right here in theaters. Megan is sporting a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I actually didn't know until about 10 or 15 minutes ago. Avatar: The Way of the Water, which is considered a masterpiece by some of my friends online, is at a 77. Women Talking, by the way, a great film, a great awards film. But look at this, guys, a 98. Are you kidding me? Now, tell me in the chat, when you guys saw this trailer a couple months ago, or even the poster, did you for 1 second think to yourself, that's a 98% Rotten Tomatoes film? Did anybody think that? I never would have thought that. And it just really, And I think that's what's great about this movie. It's really surprising. It leans into its crazy premise and it runs with it. It runs with it. And I wish the only, downfall for me when it comes to my score, so to speak, when end up giving my score, my rating on the film, it's just I wish it was rated R. I wish we did get some of those on-screen deaths and kills and blood and gore and just like the sinister nature of this doll. I wish we did get it, but we didn't. We didn't because it was PG-13, had to be scaled back a little bit. But Blumhouse has got something special here, guys. To kick off 2023 with this and the Evil Dead Rise trailer, by the way, which also came out today, which I just saw, by the way. You guys can comment on that in the chat if you want to as well. We can talk about Evil Dead Rise too. What did you guys think of that trailer today? The red band and the green band. I watched both. I think I watched the Australian trailer too. I watched like 3 different trailers. There's a little bit of different footage in each of them. But guys, horror is like, people's. Thank you, Travis. The beer comment is from Travis, and he says he doesn't have a link to anything. I think it's just we ran into this problem last time, but it's like I think it's streamyard.com/Facebook. Let me see if I still have it, Travis. And I'll throw it up there for you. I may have saved it from before. I thought I did, but here I do. There you go, Travis. So that's what you have to do. Anybody in the Facebook group, that's what you have to do. Just streamyard.com/Facebook. And then it's just going to ask you if it can use your profile name. So, but thank you for the beer comment nonetheless. I do appreciate it. Almost hit end broadcast. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Let's see. Travis figured it out. He says the Evil Dead trailer was freaky. Dude, I agree with you. I think that one thing I'll say, and I know Drew will back me up here. He's in the chat right now. One thing I'll say about Evil Dead, though, for sure, is that it always brings the heat. Like, there's not a dud in that franchise. It's like, I don't know why. I kind of was a little bit like that too, so I don't want to judge too much. But I don't know why fans like get kind of up in arms about, is it going to be good? Is it going to come through? It's Evil Dead. When has Evil Dead ever let us down as horror fans? It's never happened. They all, some are better than others, of course. They're not all A+. But the franchise is very solid. It's very consistent. And I'm not worried. And after seeing that trailer, I'm damn sure not worried. It looks really fucking scary. The effects look great. I love the callbacks to some of the other Evil Dead films that we saw in different pieces of the trailer. Horror is letting everyone know we're here. It's making a comeback. I think COVID ironically helped horror a little bit because people wanted to get back into the theater, and there's no better genre of film to see in the theater with a bunch of people than a horror movie. I'll just tell you. And getting back to the M3GAN discussion, which is what this video is all about to begin with, it's so fun. It is such a fun horror comedy. That's what M3GAN is. Any of my horror friends, anybody that even likes like teen comedies, even give this a go. There's some acapella numbers in this movie. I think there were 3 I counted. It's either 3 or 4 that happen in this movie with our lead character that are phenomenal. Just hilarious. Just such a, not even like in a slapstick way, but just like an awkward way that you literally are laughing. And there's some side characters in the movie that just give great performances. I love so many things about this film. It's a little slow to get going. It takes about a half hour to get going. So I'll just give you that kind of warning up front. But if you can get through that first 30 minutes and M3GAN kind of starts to show up and she kind of starts to do her thing, you're going to be in for a wild ride. I'll go back to my summary, my review. Bam. M3GAN was a wild ride. I hope you guys see it. Go check it out, guys. Go see it in the theater this week. January is typically it's not a lot coming at us as movie fans in January. Sometimes in February too. It doesn't really start to pick up until March. Valentine's Day, there might be a couple, cool romantic comedies that might come out and that kind of thing. But first couple months of the year are usually pretty dry. So I am thrilled that a 98% Rotten Tomatoes film that is really a surprising movie is the first thing that's showing up in theaters. Is the first movie that, or the first new movie that I saw in 2023, and I'm so glad I did. Allison Williams is great, of course, from Get Out and a lot of other things. Oh man, this is so good. Let's see if you guys have any more comments over there before I wrap up. But I hope you guys check it out. I don't know who this is, but one of the Facebook users says that in his opinion, or her opinion, Evil Dead is the best horror franchise. I am not going to argue with you there. We actually did our horror franchises in October with our buddies Justin and Paul from the Countdown. And I think mine was Scream, actually. So I had Scream as my number one horror franchise. Evil Dead was on everyone's list. It got talked about a lot. And I don't know. I don't think Paul's here right now because he's in Australia. He's probably asleep. But I think he had it at number one. I think. That's Jared. Okay, thank you, Drew. Drew says that's Jared Taylor over there. Well, if Jared said it is true. Jared's the man. I love Jared. So, um, yeah, I think there's a definite argument that could be made with that. I mean, it's the most consistent. I'll say that it's the most consistent franchise. I mean, is there? I mean, I could watch any of them. They're all great. I could rewatch any of them. They're all great. So I agree with the sentiment there. I think Scream was my horror franchise when we did that episode. Guys, that's it. I wanted to talk about M3GAN. I actually did a record. I recorded a video to put on YouTube of the Evil Dead trailer reaction and of my M3GAN review, and I forgot to record the audio on both of them. So, cheers to me, fellow podcasters know my pain. I think there was no audio, so I can't. It sounds horrible because it's the onboard audio, and I just can't do. I can't release it. I wouldn't be proud of it, and I'd be bummed the whole time that it sounded like I was in a garage, which I currently am. So I said, well, you know what? I want to talk about M3GAN, and let me do just a little mini review. I say go see it. I'm going to put up my score here. I'm thinking about doing this thing out of 100. What do you guys think about that? Where I'm going to do my score out of 100. I know I'm not the only one, but I'm thinking about doing that. And so if I did that, let's see. If I did that, bam, there you go. 76 out of 100 for M3GAN is my score. That's a fresh score. It takes a little while to get going. I wish it was rated R as opposed to PG-13. I wish we got a little more salivating with the blood and the gore. But aside from that, it's one of the better PG-13 horror movies. I'll tell you that much. It was a great thriller. It was just as funny as it was scary, which is a hard thing to pull off. We were just talking about Evil Dead. You know, few do it, but it's 50% funny, 50% scary, and it's memorable. You will remember this movie. It will be remembered for a long time. There will most likely be sequels. There'll be dolls and toys and merchandising and T-shirts. And I mean, how many M3GANs are going to be at Halloween this year, guys? I mean, if you don't see a M3GAN at Halloween this year, I'll be shocked. They'll be everywhere. It was a lot of fun. I definitely recommend that you guys check out M3GAN. It's going to be released this Friday. My full review will be on Letterboxd later today if you guys want to check it out. And thank you for tuning in for the live stream. I'm just making sure there's no more comments. Looks like we're good over there. You guys are the best. I'll see you next time in the garage.